Yo boys, welcome back to another trade recap. Right, let's get straight into it. So this trade that I took yesterday on the 20th of May was my biggest trade ever. Like, I've never taken a trade as big as this. It was a 1 to 4.5 R, I believe. Yeah, 4.5 R. But it returned me a fat $2,000 on my funded account, just out on a 50k account. And I risked like $400 or so on the trade. So yeah, in $450 or so on the trade. So yeah, an insane fucking just return. $2,000 on a single day is my biggest day. Especially on a 50k account, you know, on a 100k account, it won't obviously be too much, but on a 50k account, it was a 4R. And it pulled my account out of deep drawdown and back into profit, and actually eligible for a payout. So I'm actually gonna request that straight after I record this. So yeah, what a day, what a trade. And in times like these where like I'm struggling with trading, to be honest, in a sense that I'm struggling to see even past fucking challenges with this price action. I mean, this is what we've had pretty much all week, is just chop. We've had distribution early on in the week to the upside, just no entry models or anything, and then we've just had chop, and even today we're just getting chopped. So yeah, an insane day for me, an insane kind of milestone to hit. But anyway, let's get straight into the fucking recap. What made me take this trade? So coming on early into the week, let's have a look at buys. So early on into the week, on both currency and thingy, I was in fact bearish, right? I was bearish for the week, and I said if Monday and Tuesday can create higher the week into these gaps, we can then look to distribute down onto Thursday and maybe trading even towards this low over here, right? Unfortunately, we had the distribution on a Tuesday. We had Monday create higher the week, or like Tuesday create higher the week into this fair value gap, and then just distribute. We didn't even come into the premium of the swing, or any of that. Now, you've got to be able to adapt, right? However, looking at GU, we were a lot stronger on the pair. So for me, because we were a lot stronger, yes, we were inside this daily fair value gap, but I was still looking to take longs, because again, if I'm thinking of it in a logical sense, what makes more sense for what makes more sense for institutions? Would they be wanting to sell at a discounted level or at a premium level? They want to be centered in the premium level. So my idea of this was to trade higher. Yes, we had SMT on these highs just here between EU and GU, but I was looking to still see GU to trade higher, potentially come into the premium, and then we get the distribution. And yesterday was a Wednesday, so distributing higher would make sense for the distribution on Thursday, right? Especially with news and things like that. We had FOMC yesterday, so that was my bias coming into today. As well as that, we also had these stack daily highs just here, which did look really clean. So coming on to the 4 hourly, coming into the day, what was I seeing? Let's have a look. Okay, so we had this impulsive change CISD on the 4 hour just here, and we actually retested the order block, beautifully. We had this bullish order block just here, we broke it, we retested, and then we continued to distribute higher. We're disrespecting bearish gaps and creating bullish gaps. So and we even inversed this gap over here. So for me, okay, again, wanting to see price trade higher made a lot of sense for buyers, right? We're clearly bullish start of the week, and if we're looking at like the difference between, and this is one thing that you should always look at, the difference between this push and this push is two different things, right? This push is clearly showing intent. This push is clearly stacking orders and building low resistance liquidity run to actually take out, right? And you can see that the buyers are clearly in control here and the sellers aren't really in control. We're not displacing at all, okay? So again, bias in terms of what am I looking for? I'm still looking for buyers. Yes, we're in this swing, but again, if I wanted to see sellers take control over here, I'd see more of a V taper, a V shape kind of thing going on, just like we have on EU, right? And then we also created an SMT at these lows. So with this SMT at the lows, okay, again, more confluence to keep buying and such. So yeah, with this LRL, beautiful target, right? To go down to the hourly, what am I seeing? First off, I'm seeing this hourly fair value gap, unmitigated fair value gap. And the reason I waited for this, now I did see MEC buys in the morning. Now MEC buys for me on GU will be once we get the Sweep of Asia, and then we have this impulsive kind of change of character to the upside on the 5 minute. Now I did see people take this. It's not the worst MEC trade in the world, except the fact that you have actually swept Asia high and then you have created that SMT over here. That'd be a con, but it is with bias and it is what we're looking for, right? Now, again, why don't I take this? Because that's, I'm looking to buy. Why not set my long position on the EQ? Stops at the low. Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, we have the SMT. Second reason, the stop loss is too big. It's 16 pips. Way too big, right? I only like trading 10 pips max, really. 12 if I'm really confident, but 10 pips max. But also, if we're looking at where price stopped, it clearly stopped just in front, just before it tapped this fair value gap on the left, right? This bullish fair value gap. So with that in mind, I'm understanding, okay, cool. This is probably just another kind of early buy trap that we are going to break straight into and then distribute, right? We're just creating more orders to sweep. And like I said, price has been extremely choppy. We had this sweep of these intermediate lows, but now we've created one more. As well as that, if we're looking at EU, right? I mean, EU did look a little bit cleaner, but again, where are we tapping into? This fair value gap that has previously been respected. So could we see it be respected once more? Potentially, right? So that was kind of my reasoning for not wanting to go long just here. So then, yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. As well as that, I mean, another added confidence to this long, which was nice, is that you have kind of tapped that premium, the discount of the 4-hourly swing. But again, with this fair value gap, I'm not looking to take that trade just there. All right. So didn't take the MEC. Just waited and was really patient, especially with the 7 o'clock low just there. So obviously then price just hammers down. People are taking losses. You're seeing a reversal. People are like, okay, we're looking good. And then boom. Okay. Now, at this point, I'll be honest. Once I saw this run here, and I knew I wasn't going to trade, I just set an alert here and I started getting on my day. Okay, and I think I was eating toast when I took this trade, right? Because I was still confident in buys, but now that we're in the fair value gap over here, we've swept this 7 o'clock low at 9:30, which is beautiful. 9:30 displacement. Have a look at it. It really does work. 9:30 for London session. It really is beautiful. We had this target over here as a main kind of draw liquidity and untapped Asian high, which tends to get taken, right? If you go back and look at data from, thingy, your untapped Asia highs will get taken. That one got taken. This one potentially got taken. Maybe SMT at these highs. This one got taken. If we are going to go bullish, which I don't think we will, this will eventually get taken. But if you're looking at both sides of the Asian range, always seem to be getting taken. So for me, with this untapped Asia high, with this LRL on the hourly in the fair value gap now, like this is what I'm looking for. Okay, and we are rejecting it nicely. So once we come into the discount again and we have this tap into the fair value gap, it's super simple, right? This is the easiest trade I've ever taken. What was I waiting for? First off, I looked at my phone when the 3-minute change of state already happened, just here. Normally I would take this on the 3-minute. Normally I'd enter my long straight here and have a beautiful entry. But I wasn't, if I'm being honest, I wasn't a fan of this candle here. Okay? Just before a new 30-minute candle, because it could, you can see that sometimes a new 30-minute might come down, induce this though, and then get the move. So I didn't enter straight away on that, and I think I waited on the 5-minute. Now I was going to wait, okay, if I'm being honest, for this breaker structure and then a retest and then go, because that will confirm that this low is pretty secure, right? So I did draw out this fair value gap and I was waiting for the inversion, but then I went back onto the 3-minute and I was kind of debating, if this is the move, I'm expecting it to be now, because we've already came into this area, we've wicked this low. If we come back now, price is just shit. So we get rejection from fair value gap. I waited to see what this would happen, and then I see that we get this impulsive candle just here, and I did enter on the retest of this candle just here. This was my exact entry on that wick. Okay, could price have done this? Absolutely. Okay, but again, from what we've done, right, we've swept all of this liquidity twice now. We've come back, we've swept this low, we've had this beautiful 30-minute rejection candle. If we're going on to the 15-minute, we've had this 15-minute rejection candle. We've tapped into the rejection block. Again, test these out. These are rejection blocks, right? Okay, it is where you have a nice rejection wick and you actually tap back into it. You can see it kind of somehow plays out a little bit over here. We tap into the rejection block, we go higher. Yep, over here we have this rejection wick. I mean, you would want this to close bullish really, but we tap back into it and go higher. This is like some fucking sauce, if I'm being honest. Again, you have a rejection block, tap into it, you go higher. Let's see what else I can show you over here. I mean, again, you want this to close bearish technically, but again, you have this rejection block. Okay, reject, tap in, go higher. Okay, go lower. All right, so rejection blocks do work. Now, I'm not saying they were going to work every single time. Of course not. Nothing in trading works every single time. I mean, even here, this rejection wick, we tap into it, we trade higher, and then crash back down. So it has to, and with everything in trading, there has to be context behind it. And the context for me was that we're looking to go higher, right? So we had this 15-minute bullish close. I entered the trade, and price kind of dicks around, and then it rips to the upside. Now, my first take profit was going to be here, at this high, because it was at this high. We have relatively equal highs over here. But then I was thinking about, right, where do I actually want to see price go to today? I want to see price go to previous day high over here, which I think was that previous day high. Yeah, wanted to see price go to my previous day high, being honest, which was that untapped Asia high. So I was going to fully hold out to this, but then I realized who I was trading with and what prop firm, and it probably didn't make sense to do that, which definitely would not get paid. So yeah, I was going to close at this point once we took this high, which we did. I mean, this was a 1 to almost 3 RR, so it's a beautiful trade. But I did decide to hold this trade because, again, I'm super bullish on this LRL run and that untapped Asia high. And I've been testing this out. Normally, I just trade for a 1 to 2. But recently, I've been trying to test out how can I extend my profits on trades that make sense, on days that distribute, things like that, right? So, yeah. We see price dick around, and then I think over here I was up like 1.1k, and then back here I was back at 1.1k. Now this is why I made a mistake, but also didn't make a mistake, and I'd actually didn't make a mistake. I'd take this trade 10 times out of 10. I entered again on a challenge account, not on a funded account, because not being silly, because this was a beautiful trade, right? We had this 1 hour order block being created just here. Okay, we had this bullish order block, which was beautiful, and like I said, I'd take this trade 10 times out of 10. We even shifted back on the 2 hour. Okay, we had this 2 hour OB over here. We didn't quite tap that though, but we didn't really need to because we tapped it. We came close to the hourly order block, and then we had this 1 hour fair value gap just here. Now with this fair value gap and this, and the fact that we actually came into the maybe we didn't. Oh no, I don't. No. Forgive me. We did. We came into the discount of this swing, which was there, right? So we tapped my order block and we came into the discount of the hourly swing, and then we had this big ass bullish reaction at 2:30 open. This was all I wanted to see to enter and wait for continue going up. So I entered another position just here, targeting on my it was a phase 2. I literally could have passed this in one trade. I think I needed to target it was that. That's why I needed to target 2.5, right? So got tagged in there. I swear to God, when price was here, I was like, bro, I'm gonna pass this phase 2 so quickly. Watch. And then we got dicked. Price crashed. The only reason I can see for price doing that, okay, is going on to EU. And what was EU doing? EU was rejecting this 15-minute fair value gap just here. It didn't tap the order block though, so that there was scope to go higher. That was the only reason that I think this trade failed. But then also there was some Iran shit going on that I was completely unaware of. But would I take this trade again? Absolutely, 10 out of 10 trade for me. Yeah, 15-minute rejection. It was just beautiful. This is a 10 out of 10 trade. Take this all day, every day. And normally these trades would go straight to a TP. So yeah, now you got to think of this in my perspective. At this point, I'm up like 1.1k, and within, I think it was 15 minutes or so, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, within 25 minutes, 30 minutes, I was back to $0, right? Let me show you. This is the funniest shit. So I put my story. Watch me lose 1,000 in 10 minutes. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm up $5. Okay. And then within 1 minute, I swear to, this is why I don't set break evens. I believe that if you've entered a trade and you've accepted the risk, then why are you setting break even? Within a 1 minute candle, this shit happens. I swear to God, we ripped to the upside. And I think I closed out at a 4.5 RR just there. And I was at $2,000, and that's me done for the day. So yeah, some Iran news, some red. It wasn't red folder, so I should get paid out for this. If I don't, it'll be fuming. There was no red folder until 7 p.m. last night. But yeah, we got that fucking fat ass kind of impulse to the side. I think something happened on the straight or whatever, and I hit TP, and that was that. Am I pissed off that I didn't hold to hit? No, because I'm content with my piece of the pie, right? Yes, I would have made an extra grand or so, and it did actually end up hitting TP, but it's fine. Okay, so that was my trade. That was the full breakdown. And this is one perfect reason why I would never set break even. Okay, if I set break even, that would have cost me $2,000. So don't set break even. If you entered a trade and you've risked correctly and it follows your rules, do not set break even. You only ever set break even if you've broken a rule or you've over risked, and or your emotions are getting the best of you. Okay, but that's my advice. Do what you want. So yeah, that's the trade. Beautiful trade. I'd say it was a class trade. I'd personally say this was A+. Only thing is you're against high time frame trend, but then again, there's context behind why I took this. Right, a beautiful little AMD as well on the hourly kind of happening. We have accumulation. We have a manipulation into a fair value gap, and then we have the distribution. So yeah, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so that was the trade. I'm gonna request my payout. I'll keep you guys updated. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you for the next trade recap. Peace.